medical professionals are to black women what police are to black men. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, whenever you're watching this. Hello, welcome. My name is Lauren. Welcome to my channel. To my subscribers, how are you guys doing? How's your day? Let me know, because I really do care. If you want me to care about your day, subscribe. Period. Like, that easy. I mean, I guess I do care about your day, but like, if you want me to genuinely care about your day, subscribe. So, today I'm talking about something. I know I haven't made a video in a long time. Oh, I guess not a long time. It's been like a month, whatever. Had to just I just left the gym, just got back home, scrolling through Instagram, and I saw a post about a doctor. Looking at my phone right now. Her name is Chaniece Wallace, Dr. Wallace. She is a PGY4 at the University of Alabama School of Medicine, and she just gave birth to a beautiful baby girl whose name is Charlotte. She's an African American woman, a physician who is just about to become an attending. And she died due to childbirth complications. This happens so often in America. And I don't know what to say. I just can't help but to think that this would be a woman I look up to, someone that I would want to mentor me. Like, she looks like she was into football, and she likes Scandal, so, like, that's honestly, like, two things right there. You got me right there. I would have had to give her would have had to tussle a little bit because she's a Bama fan, I'm a Clemson fan, but, like, it is what it is. I'm honestly just really thrown off right now. I really am. Like, there's just so many emotions that are happening that I don't really know what to say. So I guess just do this right here, right now, I'm just gonna read what's in the group, the GoFundMe descriptor, which I will post in the description of this video. On October 20th, 2020, my wonderful, beautiful, loving wife and I brought into the world our first child, Charlotte Azalea Wallace. Charlotte is the daughter's name. I will refer to the mother as Dr. Wallace because I really want to make sure I'm pronouncing her first name correctly, and I don't want to pronounce it incorrectly multiple times throughout this video. So just for respect purposes, I'm going to call her Dr. Wallace and refer to her daughter as Charlotte. At birth, Charlotte weighed in at 4 pounds and 5 ounces and measured 16 inches. Dr. Wallace and I were very excited about welcoming our first child, Charlotte, into the world. We had discussed all the many possibilities of her bright future and the limitless paths she could follow. Charlotte was born under unique conditions. She was delivered via C-section 4 weeks prior to her scheduled due date. We were expecting her to arrive November 20th, 2020. But we experienced a great opportunity to embrace her sooner. Charlotte is a premature baby due to the strenuous circumstances her mother encountered during the 3rd trimester. On October 20th, 2020, Dr. Wallace's doctors informed us that she was developing symptoms of preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is a condition where a mother will develop high blood pressure due to a number of different factors. It's usually safest for her to go ahead and deliver the baby, and the symptoms have to be monitored, and they will subside with like different medication managements and things like that. But it can lead to usually liver and kidney problems for the mother, and can lead to death and seizures if it develops further. Back to the GoFundMe. From this day to October 22nd, 2020, my wife and I had to endure surgery due to complications developing in her body. 3 of the main challenges we encountered were a ruptured liver, high blood pressure, and kidneys that were not fully functioning. Dr. Wallace fought with every piece of strength, courage, and faith she had available. She was a chief resident at Indiana University School of Medicine, pediatric hospitalist with Indiana University Health Physicians, and had just completed her board exams while interviewing for multiple positions around the country. Dr. Wallace was such a warm soul, welcoming to almost everybody, not only loved by family and friends, but individuals, as she would encounter in the patient population. She had a special way of being empathetic with her patients and making each one of them feel special. Charlotte is absolutely beautiful. She has been in the NICU since birth, but is doing exceptionally well. And the NICU is the neonate intensive care unit, the neonate ICU. It's where babies who are born prematurely go until they are ready to leave and go home. Although we've encountered the loss of a wife and a mother, Charlotte and I rejoice in having one another and knowing that Dr. Wallace is watching down on us from heaven. This road will not be an easy one for Charlotte and myself, but we are trusting in the name of the Lord. We understand there is a great expected end ahead, but there is also a great financial need to secure that great expectation. We are grateful for any heartfelt contributions at this time. Dr. Wallace, although you may not be here with us physically, I will always carry you in my heart and share my wonderful memories of you with our daughter, Charlotte. I just want to say, right now, what I found funny in a not funny way. When I was Googling the medical definition of preeclampsia, this is what popped up. Do you know how often it is when I Google a medical condition and a black person pops up? Like never. It never happens. I was surprised. It very, very rarely ever happens. It's always a white person. Medical professionals are to black women what police are to black men. It's not overt. It's not going to be caught on camera. You're not going to see someone being tackled. You're not going to hear that a doctor was thinking too fast and fearing for his life or her life. You're not going to see videos and evidence of this strewn across social media. You're not going to see this all over the news. Because it doesn't have that shocking factor that you get with the murder of private citizens by the police. Which is interesting in and of itself, right? Because we go to doctors to trust them with the most important machine thing we will ever own, which is our bodies. But something that is changing right now, I will give the medical system this, it is actively changing. But something that is still a huge problem in the medical field is the systemic biases that are in place. For example, when you're measuring kidney function, the number that you use for an African American patient versus anybody else is different. Like, the African American patient can have higher levels, which for any other patient would be considered abnormal. For the African American patient, it's normal. That kind of stuff. There's a survey done in 2015, I believe, that surveyed medical students, and 50% of them thought that black people had a higher pain tolerance. 2015! I graduated from high school in 2015. I started college in 2015. Alright, so, I've got a PowerPoint. Honestly, that's what we're about to go through. This was a PowerPoint I made for my, my senior project for one of the classes I was taking in undergrad. Let's get started. I'm going to let this PowerPoint guide the statistics side of this, but there's timestamps in this video, so honestly, if you want to skip through this, do it. Don't recommend it, but it's a free world, so I'll give you the freedom to do that if you just want to skip to the "what should I do now" section, because you already know all these statistics, because you're a well-rounded individual on this issue, which I commend you for. Anyway, so America has the highest infant mortality rate for any developed nation. Once again, we're number one. Woo! Making America great, am I right? Our healthcare system sucks. Big time. We have an average of 5.8 infants die per 1,000 births, according to a study in 2014. And what a comparable country of our size and all that other junk, it would be 3.4. But, you know, we're out here crushing goals because we're number one. But when you really look at this, it's not a problem with, you know, just why are all these babies and mommies dying? It's because the rate is skewed by African American mothers. Look at us. Look at America sticking to its roots of racism. We love to see a girl who doesn't change, am I right? So going into maternal death rates, out of all the United States mothers, per 100,000 births, there are 14 deaths. When you look at African American mothers, that number jumps to 43.5. 43.5. Compared to mothers in high-income countries, 10 per 100,000. Non-Hispanic white mothers, 12.7. United States African American mothers, 43.5. You see the screen. African American infant mortality rate is 2.2 times higher than the non-Hispanic white infant mortality rate. It's due to low birth weight. Twice as likely to die from SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome. African American mothers are 2.2 times more likely to receive late prenatal care, which is a big impact into receiving proper care during your, I sound like Barack Obama, during your birth. All right, yeah, so let's look at some more of these. This is just looking more at the infants. As you can see, the infant mortality rates per 1,000 births in the United States for black babies is 12. For white babies, it is like 4, 5, you know. And the wonderful thing is it's been pretty much constant. It hasn't really changed over 10 years. Again, we are number one. We are number one. Now, you know, there's some people who like to say, but Lauren, systematic racism isn't real. It's all about income distribution. Shut up, okay? Shut up. Yes, income does play a factor into this. You are right. You're actually really true. However, you can be rich, you can be educated, and this problem will still affect you. Dr. Wallace, notice how I said doctor. Dr. Wallace was impacted by this. So, I'd like to call that systematic because she's not the first doctor to have this issue. Beyonce had issues with the delivery of her twins. Serena Williams had issues with her delivery. So you want to tell me it's not systematic? It's not systemic? You want to tell me it's about income? Because, honey, I think it's the fact that people think black women are stronger. That's what I think it is. I think that's a systemic issue, but who am I? Just a medical student who's researched this topic for years? I don't know. Anyway, income inequality is often linked to poor health. We all know that. However, being in America, that means nothing. When income is controlled, African American women are 3 times as likely to die from childbirth complications. What other reasons do you want to tell me why this isn't systemic? Income is a large driver of a lot of the problems a person experiences in life. Still 3 times as likely to die from birth complications. Either way, regardless of that, African American communities have less access to proper health care. There's a strong stigma of mistrust towards medical professionals in the African American community. And honestly, I don't even blame them for that, because when you have things like the Tuskegee study, and you can look that up because I'm not going to educate you on that today, maybe later, but you can look up the Tuskegee study. That was very recent. The Tuskegee syphilis study is what it's specifically called. When you have things like that happen that recent, like that was in the 60s, and you still are having issues where you don't feel like you're being listened to by your physician today, I don't blame black people for not trusting doctors and medical professionals. I really don't. And also, see, this is what it is. This last bullet right here. The stress of being a minority in America has long-term impacts on health. What's my heart rate right now? Look. It is 92. 90 freaking 2. 95. 107! You see all of this and you're probably wondering, like, what do I need to do to help? First of all, if you are in the medical field, you have a really big hand in addressing this. Watching this video is one step, okay? It's the bare minimum, so don't expect anyone to be, like, proud of you for doing this, because it really is the bare minimum. But an actual step you can take is to identify what your own personal biases are, and check them frequently. I have biases against women working, which is odd because, like, I'm a woman who works a lot. But test your biases, and I'll put a link in the description or name of a website down here, maybe, when I look it up, because I have to look up the name. I forgot for a second. Step 2, medical professionals. Once you've identified your biases, work to not act on them. Take steps and really think through your differentials, think through your treatment plans, and listen to your patients. I know you're busy, I know you're going really fast, but really, like, take the time to listen to what your patient is saying and not saying. Take the time to look at them and look at their body language when they're talking to you. When you walk into the room, when you leave the room, the eye contact that they make with you, things like that. Listen to them. Look at your patient. And I know I'm first year, like, I don't know what credit do I have to talk about how to diagnose your patient. I don't know. Very little credit, I guess. Honestly, on this medical totem pole, very little credit. Step 3. This goes for everybody. Treat Black women like humans. I have noticed there's a dichotomy. There's a difference. There's 2 types of women as far as the way that the world sees Black women. You either see them as the baby mama with 4 different baby daddies, 9 different kids, the welfare queen, some would say. Or you see them as Superwoman, can do anything, can do everything, is amazing. These are your Kerry Washingtons, Olivia Popes, Beyonce, Michelle Obama, Oprah. And of course, on both ends of those spectrums, like, those 2 types of women exist all through the spectrum. But I need you to understand that those are 2 extremes, and they really aren't, like, that will never represent the totality of anyone's personality. Like, yes, Black women are probably more mentally strong than you. That's true. Probably. I'm not saying that that's not, like, an absolute fact, but, like, you know, like, on average, it's probably something that could be said. However, just because we have to be strong to survive being a double minority at the bottom of the totem pole of minorities does not mean that you need to ignore us when we say we're in pain. Doesn't mean you need to write us off when we say we're in pain. Just because a mother has already had multiple children, if she is telling you something is wrong, you need to listen to her when she says that and not be like, oh, you know what, she's just over exaggerating. She's just saying that. Or, oh, there's no way the pain can be that bad. Like, I know she's stronger than that. No. Stop. Listen, Linda, listen. But you need to actually take action. You need to step up. When you hear people saying things that are reinforcing biases and stereotypes, nip it in the bud. Shut it down. Say something about it. That's what it means to be an ally. Your voice is important. Because if someone sees you as a member outside of that group, standing up for the group, they're more likely to be like, oh dang, hold on. Maybe they have a point. Use your voice. Take action. Say things when no one's looking. Don't just post on social media. Don't just share stuff. Have conversations. Engage in conversations. And I'm not saying to go text your Black friend, your Black classmate from 4 years ago, and ask them to give you a crash course on racial injustice throughout the history of America. Don't freaking do that, okay? Like, people make content. Go, just Google it, okay? There's so many books. Obviously, there's YouTube videos about it. That's what I'm making right here. Look it up. Look up everything you possibly can. There's podcasts, books, blogs, videos. Okay, so my camera's about to die. and I was in a really good rant, obviously. But basically, as allies, can we please stop asking people in the community to explain everything to us? Like, it's one thing if you have genuinely been looking it up and you have a specific question about something that you haven't been able to find. Or if you're just kind of like naturally having a discussion about it, but stop making your friends like explain everything to you. That's really annoying after a while. It just gets kind of exhausting. But like I said, my camera's about to die, so hopefully it doesn't die while I'm doing this. I still don't have an outro. So thanks for watching this video. Subscribe. For real. Subscribe. Like this video if you liked it. Anyway, see you guys next week, I guess.